What up, y'all? So this channel, I know there's a lot of independent channels out there, and that's kind of the thing. This is kind of a multitude of things. So this is going to cover my own accountability for thoughts and creations, for my fitness goals, for shooting goals, for family goals, that type of stuff. But this is also information that can be passed between each other in a no bullshit type of way. So on this channel, I cover, and I will be covering a lot of different communities. And by communities, I mean gun community, gym, automotive, and then sport communities. My kids, they do sports year round. My boy's in competitive sports, so he gets a ton of play time, or a lot of season training, which is good for him. But like I said, so this channel is going to cover all those communities, and within those communities are subcategories that we can really take time and break down, and really get to the nitty-gritty of things. Now, this is going to be probably a little bit different viewpoint than you'll get from a lot of other people, because of a lot of different factors. Obviously, my ethnicity is one, my size is another. A lot of the trainers that are out there, if you look at them, they're much smaller than I am. As somebody that's a power lifter and a concealed carrier, my carry options, my carry style, clothing options are dramatically different. So on this channel, we're going to go into a lot of that stuff as a bigger guy, whether you are into fitness or not. Bigger guy is a bigger guy, and you need clothing that actually fits and that works well with what we're trying to do. So we'll get into a lot of that. There's a lot of DIY stuff that I get into. I'll get into Kydex building for holsters, knives, stuff like that. Also bringing in some custom clothing, shirt designs. I'm trying out a few different styles of shirts to see how well they hold up to a bigger size guy. So we're working on something like that. On this channel, again, we're going to be talking about the fitness end of things and gun things. My thoughts on a lot of the different issues that are going on, where I feel, especially from my state that I live in. I am a concealed carrier. I carry as much as I can. There are a couple instances throughout the day or throughout time that I can't, but it's always nearby, which is the most important thing. So that's something that we will be able to discuss on this channel, which is really nice. So my program itself is a kind of a different program. What I've done is I've pulled from a lot of the greats in a lot of different areas, guys that are really good in hypertrophy, guys that are really set into supersets and multi-sets like that, and then guys that are just straight up 1-2 rep power lifters. So what I did was I pulled from every one of those guys, and you got your Stan Efferdings, you got your Mike Rasheeds, you got your Ben Pulaskis, you got all these guys that are in different categories that really work well and specialize in certain areas. What is I combine them all together to create a 3-phase program. So you got your PR days, which are going to be, you're going to get, it's basically 3 days on, a day off, 3 days on, a day off, 3 days on. It's the 3-phase. First 3 days is your PR days. We're working on 1 and 2 rep max. Take a day off, then you're jumping into hypertrophy sets. So that's going to be 3 days of high volume, really focusing on your time under tension, really getting that muscle, that mind and muscle connection going, and just really good volume and really good tension to the body. Take a day off. The third phase is going to be your superset. So that's where we're going to come in, and we're going to do 2 heavy compounds with 2 accessories per heavy compound. And again, you're doing your heavy compound. We're only doing about 70 to 80% of your PR, and then burning it out. So that's the 3-phase. I've tried this out for about 2 months, and I've put on dramatic amount of size and strength. I'm 30 years old, and I'm lifting heavier and without pain for the most part, better than I ever have in my entire life. And I put on a lot of size. So I started my program at about 265, and right now I'm a little over 280 pounds. I'm gonna go 50-50. Some of it, 50% of that is probably junk food and water retention, but the other half is legit muscle gain. I'm getting stretch marks again. So my body's really liking this program without a lot of body teardown, because again, you're only hitting them in 3-day increments, which means you're not over abusing the body. So that's kind of how the program breaks up. My body breakup is back and bis, legs, chest and tris, and then shoulders and lats kind of get split up between back and chest. I try to do rear delts with back, and I try to do front delts with fronts as much as possible. Sometimes you get overlapping exercises, but you try your best. We're also doing a cutting with it as well. So now that I've seen that this program can put me on size, I want to see if this program will put me in shape. So we're going to make some changes on this one. So this is kind of the still building mass, but we're going to really work on getting some more calorie cutting out of it. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking one of the 3 days for the PRs, and we're going to replace it with probably maybe a hypertrophy set or another superset. I'm not too sure. We're going to play it out and see how it feels to do it that way. But we are going to put in a little bit more calorie burning version of it. Also, we are probably going to, and then morning cardio. So this morning I actually made it in about 5:30 this morning. I got about a half an hour of cardio in, just interval training. I have a 1.5 mile run that I need to accomplish in a pretty strict timeline. So I have until June. So obviously I have time, but I'm not a runner and I haven't ran in 10 plus years. So it's really going to be about getting back into it, figuring out how to run in general. I ran a couple weeks ago and I decided to just go for it, and I sprinted a mile, and it's supposed to go 1.5 miles, but I sprinted a mile and did good for the first mile, and then I had the worst fucking cramp, and ever since then I can't run for shit. My run is literally getting worse each time I run, so that tells me that I'm doing something wrong. So I'm looking into some information and I'm talking to some runners because I have no idea how to run. So we're working on that, and hopefully we're going to try to minimize as much body loss, mass and muscle loss as possible, and try to keep really good size. And I'm going to do that by having a pretty high protein intake. So normally, this is the surprising part. So the last 2 months, my food hasn't been very good. I've probably only been averaging maybe about 125 grams of protein a day, which is very, very minimal, and I've still made gains. So now that I'm restarting the program, I'm gonna boost the protein numbers up to about 210 grams of protein in the day, which is about 45 grams a meal. And we're gonna see what that does. And I'm expecting really good strength numbers and better recovery, the whole 9 yards. So within this program, I'm going to talk about obviously the food and all that, but the recovery end of things. I've switched over. I've gone to a deep tissue masseuse, and it has made a world of difference for my back. I didn't know you could actually get knots in your neck, and she pulled them out. It was painful and gross, but it's helped my neck mobility, which I didn't think was even a thing. I thought that's just kind of what it was, being a thick neck motherfucker. But there's actually some mobility that you can gain out of it. And so with her working on me, and she has to work, I've seen gains, or seen differences. I'm able to move my shoulders a little bit better. I'm able to move my neck around a little bit better. So we're gonna keep putting that in there, and keep working away on that. So like I said, on the channel, we're going to cover a ton of different stuff. That's just a quick breakdown of the food, the program, changes that I'm doing to the program. If you guys are interested in the program, get at me. I will send it to you. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy, which is what I liked. And so just get at me. I'll make you a copy of it, send it to you. And then as we get into gun talk, like we're going to go, I shoot roughly once a month. So I have a shoot this Sunday. So I'm going to try to remember, and I always just end up forgetting. Like, I'm going to record gym stuff, I'm going to record shooting, and I just get into the mindset of just getting it done. And And a lot of times I just forget, and then by the time I remember, I'm already done, and I'm like, fuck it. So I'm gonna try to make a mental note. I base my training off of civilian-based realities. Getting robbed, someone breaking into the house. I don't really practice on, military style situations, or clearing a house. I've done it a couple times, but working on like group clearing. Chances are if something goes wrong, it's going to be me and my family, which means I'm the one that has a firearm. Also, I look at it differently, to where I do have an AR, I do have a shotgun, but my primary weapon system is my handgun, and I put the most amount of time into that. I carry a 1911 and a Springfield XD40 as my concealed carry weapons, and it's a full frame 1911, so no baby shit. Full frame 45. So I do a lot of drill training with that, with those custom Kydex holsters that I make. And then yes, I do AR training as well, transitions both from pistol to AR and AR to pistol. But again, my training is based off of civilian-based incidences that have gone dramatically wrong and that we can make work. I'm a big believer in, we never rise to the occasion, we merely fall back to the level of training. And Matt Graham is spot on with that. So I consistently work on that style of thought. I'm working behind vehicles, close quarter stuff, clearing my house, working on that type of stuff. I build silhouettes of human shapes, not paper plates, because when someone kicks on my door, I'm going to see a silhouette. I'm not going to see a paper plate. I don't use words like fire and stuff like that. We changed our commands to threat. He's got a gun, he's got a knife, intruder. We put in a multitude of words. That way you never get complacent on one word that isn't valid in a scenario, and then you freeze up for that second, because every millisecond counts. And so we have to maximize every millisecond as much as possible. Do a lot of low and close shooting, basically just clearing the body, and then we're engaging, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a very close quarter type situation. So I will try to put some training in, some shooting in, thoughts and ideas. Again, I'm coming from a much different perspective as a bigger guy, which means like my carry is different, how I have to present, my workability is different. So those are all journeys that we can work together, and I'm hoping that as we cut, some of that mobility will come in. We'll be able to work on changing things as we go along, but it should be a good journey. Like I said, we're gonna get to a lot of different topics. I'm also looking into an 80% lowers in both AR-10, AR-15, and 1911. That's a discussion that I'm going to have later on. But so we're going to have some car mods for my Silverado. This is my F-150. It's a 2015 F-150 Crew Cab XLT. Most of my videos will be shot in this because I'm in it from first thing in the morning to late at night. It's my work truck, so I'm in this. My Silverado, I'll try to shoot videos in. The downside is the windows are blacked out, so it's really hard to see anybody or to see me. So you get kind of like a ghostly, face thing. And so I'll try to shoot some videos, but we are going to have some car mods for the truck, air intake, that type of stuff, lift kit, rims, some interior stuff. We're going to put TVs in the car for the kids, so I don't have to hear them. And then again, with video training of the gym, shooting, we'll probably put in some stuff on my kids playing ball, doing their sport things, because who doesn't like little kids running around playing football in football jerseys, so, and actual NFL jerseys, which is even better. So yeah, so that's all the stuff that we're going to cram into these video series. If you have any thoughts, any ideas, any questions, any of that stuff, just whatever it is, put it down on the bottom. I'll get to it, get through it, and respond. So whenever you guys get a chance, get at me.